today I've got Sam with me here. Now, Sam is from the UK Weather Chase. Now, I met Sam probably, must be about 2.5 years ago now. And he set up a group of weather chasers. They go chasing the weather around UK. But rather than me tell you about it, I'll bring Sam in. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Hello, mate. You all right? How are things?
He's just adjusted himself then, weren't you? Just getting his stuff all sorted. Yeah.
It's got to be done, you know.
Yeah. Oh, you've got all the logo stuff on then?
Yeah, got to put the effort in, and put my makeup on and put all the outfit on. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially
He
for
looks
you,
like
Andy.
you look like you're just about to fly an aeroplane.
Oh, well, I wish. I wish. Back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. Right, tell me how UK Weather Chase came about then, mate.
Oh, how did it come about? It must have been about 5, 6 years ago. As a photographer beforehand, I just loved catching lightning and storms and so forth. And come across this Netflix series, Tornado Hunters, in America, and it was a group of people going out and basically storm chasing. But over in America, obviously, it's a little bit different because of chasing tornadoes. But from a photography aspect, I was like, oh, I wonder, I know there's thunderstorms in the UK, so let's just get out and give it a blast and see what's what. And I've seen the most incredible things that Mother Nature's provided. And so I thought, well, there's not really much about storm chasers in the UK. And then next thing you know, I just thought, right, let's just crack on. Because there is something here, there's something niche, there's something unique with the weather over in the UK. And yeah, just from there, it just fired up. I did a lot of live streaming on my personal page. And it was growing quite big, quite sharp, quite quick. And I thought, yeah, I don't really want my personal profile kind of with all the audience that I was getting. So then that's when I decided to create a page. And I didn't want to call it storm chasing because everyone calls themselves storm chasers. I looked at, the Facebook page and so on, and I had this storm chasers and then that region storm chasers. So I thought, well, actually, in terms of weather, we're not just going to be chasing thunderstorms. I want to be chasing, everything from space weather, northern lights, flooding, so forth. So I thought UK Weather Chase just sounds a little bit more different. So yeah, that's how UK Weather Chase come around, and it just keeps blowing and blowing and blowing up.
Yeah,
Where we are now.
you've grown quite a lot, haven't you? I mean, you've got, is it over 100k followers on Facebook?
Yes, we're literally just about to hit 125,000. And it was
Wow.
weird because, like, you look at all the other Storm Chaser pages, and though we're not really competing with them, no disrespect to them, but essentially they are armchair chasers. I mean, they don't actively go out there and chase. They're the class of storm chasers, which is a bit of an odd one. It's I don't want to go into that, but we're known for actually being out there and actually going out hunting the weather. And yeah, it's kind of a bit of competition in terms of their social media presence and how many followers they got. I think we've smashed it all now. It's quite cool.
No, that's great. I mean, obviously, I've viewers don't necessarily know this, but I've been out on a couple of chases with you because the plan was, and the plan still is, to put a documentary together about UK Weather Chase and what you guys do. And I've been out with you.
Yep.
Don't take this the wrong way, but you're slightly unhinged in some ways when it comes to weather chase. You are really, you're really obsessed with it, aren't you? You're absolutely obsessed with it. You're laughing there, aren't you?
People call us nuts, but yeah, I mean, when you're out, you're hungry. You want to capture the best. You want to capture the violence in the storms. So when you're out, you're almost trying to ensure your position is on point, because the moment you make a wrong turn or make a wrong decision, that's it. It's game over, because you'll be chasing your tails on these storms and you will not catch up to them. So you've always got to be one step ahead. You've always got to know where your road networks are, and kind of plan ahead. And it is really, really hard. But yeah, that's where it's kind of a party bus, isn't it? As you know, it all. 1 minute it's really intense and it's like, oh my god, like silence. But then next thing you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I've witnessed you love you love it, but also you get really frustrated sometimes, don't you, when you've put all that effort in and perhaps I don't know you might make a slight wrong decision or like you say you've took the wrong turn in and you're then chasing it and you miss out on what you want to achieve and that can be so frustrating. I should think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you talking about the one in Wales out of interest? Yeah, do you know what it does? And yeah, we suffered this, on Friday, Saturday. When did we go? When did we go to Wales? I can't even remember when that was. Saturday. Was it Saturday? I don't even know what day we're on now. What day are we on now?
Monday
Monday.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Friday, I've got it all planned in. We know what we're doing. The whole team's together. We're like, right, let's get this done. And then we hit M5 traffic, and then there's a crash, and then we're at the point now where the rainfall is at its peak in Wales, and we're like flooding is going to start in the next kind of hour to 2 hours. We are still on the M5, not even near Bristol yet. So you kind of like get really frustrated, and then you start doubting yourself, and then you start thinking, well, actually, is there actually any point in us going? Because by the time we get there, it's probably going to be like 8, 9 o'clock. We're going to be in darkness. Then I've got to think of the safety of the team. And it is so overwhelming because so much time gets into it. The logistics of trying to plan a chase is so hard. You know, you can't help traffic, you can't help delays and so forth. But yeah, it is frustrating. But you just got to keep digging. You got, just got to persevere and just be patient and just not necessarily hope because hope's pretty much it's not really a good way to describe it. But yeah, you just need to keep pushing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you've with weather you've got no control over it, and traffic you've got no control over it, have you?
There you are. Got to
So
do. You can only do what you can do, and that's one thing we struggle over here in the UK when we chase. And over in America, for example, they are literally getting spoon fed everything. Like all these chasers, they are literally the babies getting spoon fed, having all these decent tools with radar, velocities, and so forth. The road networks are pretty much straight for Nile on how many miles. Whereas here, it's an absolute ball ache. We haven't got tools like they have in America to be able to chase. So we're relying on one composite radar. It's like, really? So if it was me, I would literally challenge any storm chaser in America to come over here and try chasing in the UK because they will fail.
whoa,
Fact.
blimey, gauntlet put down there then.
There's facts. Honestly, they will fail because it is so tricky.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so obviously you've been on loads and loads of storm chasers over the last few years. You went out recently. Was it Friday? Was it you say?
Yeah.
So did you get there in the end then?
Yeah. Eventually, I think we got on scene to our first incident at around about 7:30ish. I think it was. And yeah, the flooding was just horrendous. It's a tiny little village. It literally only had about maybe no less than 15 houses and a pub.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, there was like 4 foot of water already. Poor old bloke outside's like trying to pump the water out from he's basically got like a garden thing, and he's closed all that off and barriered all that off. But there's a little bit of water coming in, so he's trying to pump it back in to the main bit. But it's absolutely ridiculous. What didn't help is the fact a lorry was trying to pass through this water and a few other cars and so forth, and obviously that ripples and effect of waves. That didn't help. So it's like, right, okay, we need to do something here. So we got to where we needed to be, and we're like, right, we need to close this road off, but we can't close it off because there's another like one of those sprinters that wanted to go through, and we're like, do not go through there. I said, you will get stuck. But luckily, he ended up having a reverse, and then there was a resident there come over, and he started giving it a load of crap and basically telling to do one because he thought we was going to drive through it. And we're like, no, look, literally, we're here to help you. Like, we want to close the road off, but we can't do anything right now until the sprinter goes. And then we can then assess it and call it off and so forth. But yeah, we ended up ringing the Coast Guard and ended up closing it off. And then within about half an hour, the Coast Guard turned up and they went into evacuation mode. And yeah, it was like one of the worst affected places at that time. Then yeah, it's just mega, absolute mega. I've not seen anything like that before.
What's the response you get from people like the Coast Guard or the fire service or whatever? Because obviously UK Weather Chase is not a government funded body or whatever. You're sort of like volunteers, if you like. You're out there chasing the storms and what have you for what you want to get out of it. But obviously, you come across situations like that. So what the sort of those organisations like with you? They're fairly positive.
They are absolutely amazing, and it's surprising on how welcoming they are. I mean, when the Coast Guard turned up, I can't remember what his name was, but he was basically the commandant for that unit, and he literally came up to us and was like, "You all right, boys?" And we're like, "Yeah, yeah." So we've just literally closed the road off because vehicles are going through and so forth. And he was like, "Oh, like we really, really appreciate you doing that. My name's so and so. If you need anything, just give me a shout." But yeah, they are all very welcoming. I mean, even after that, we went down to another town, and the firemen there were closing off the road, and that was a bit horrendous as well. And even there, they were coming up to us and talking to us and be like, "Oh, so what is it you do?" and so forth. And yeah, no, it's really good, and I think for us, it makes things a little bit easier because we're in a bit of a dilemma. Like, should we really officially be closing roads off?
Mm.
No, not really, but we understand the hazards that drivers could face if they were to go through that. So I mean, you kind of look at it logically and be like, well, why not close it off? Like why would they challenge us in trying to keep people safe? They wouldn't. But yeah, in terms of the local authorities, we do get an awful amount of respect. I do have I've had various messages from people within the fire service and police, and just saying, look, I do follow your page, I think it's great what you do, and so on as well. But yeah, I think they're all very approachable. And police come up to us the other day, and when we was up there, and they were having a bit of a chit chat with us, just talking about the roadblocks and what's going on. But yeah, no, it's brilliant, I love it.
Well, it's common sense anyway, isn't it? Like you say,
Mm.
if it's dangerous, then whether you're weather chaser or whether you're member of public, if you're trying to protect people, there's nothing wrong in that, is there? Absolutely
No,
nothing.
no, I don't think there is. I mean, yeah, if you're going to be silly about it and try and be a bit of an idiot, then yeah. But I mean, we've had a few encounters now where we've had to block roads off. Power lines coming down in Cornwall, in Storm Herminia, trees coming down. We've removed some trees before, and obviously we had the issue with the two elderly women in Herminia as well, which decapitated the back of their boot of their car, which we had to go in and quickly try and get them to safety. I won't lie, if we wasn't there, I wouldn't be surprised if that turned into a fatality.
Mm.
So, I mean, yeah, right place, right time. But I think, us being in the areas where there is going to be quite a bit of disruption and impact, at least we can somewhat keep our eyes peeled, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So that flood that you went to there then in Wales, was that a river bursting its bank, or was that just sheer amount of rain that came down, coming down the valleys or whatever?
I think it was a bit of both, if I'm honest. I think, yeah, the riverbank did blow, but again, with the accumulated rainfall coming down over Wales, it was always going to happen, and you can see it rising rapidly. Like within 10 minutes, it was like it gained an extra foot, and we're like, "Geez, this is bad." But it's a weird feeling because like you're almost like, is this actually happening? But and then you kind of like go into like this other mode where it's like, right, this is serious. Like, what can we do to help? Or like, if we can't help, just let nature take its course. But it's one of those things that if that happens, there's nothing you can do. Like, people's properties are going to start flooding and are flooding. What can you do other than just stand there and watch?
Yeah.
It's quite horrible. It's really horrible, especially like from us, because we know that we're going to be going back to Devon in a nice home, and that hasn't been affected. Leaving that, and you do feel somewhat guilty. Like, why are we actually here doing this? It's a bit bizarre. I do feel guilty.
I shouldn't feel guilty
It's
now.
weird.
Um, So how many people do you normally have with your car on chase? I think it varies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends who's available, really. I mean, obviously it's myself. I'll always be there, always. Rob, Stormforce 2, he will always be there. One of our top drivers who loves going straight over roundabouts and not around them. But maybe on the next podcast we can get Rob in and he could talk to you all about that. But we
Yeah.
have set up a UK Weather Chase intense driving course, and Rob has successfully passed it, and he does know now that he needs to go around the roundabout and not straight through the roundabout. But anyone who watches the podcast and follows us would know what we mean when I say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we got Louis as well. So Louis comes down quite a fair bit. And then we got Ash. Ash lives a little bit too far away, but he tries to come out as much as he can. Stewie as well. He's been out with us on one occasion, but he's one who kind of looks after all of our social media. He's on fire at the minute. He's the one who's really pulling us forward. So yeah, it's good. There's a few others. You've got Louis up the top as well. Got Sal in Wales as well. So I don't think there's Robbie. Robbie.
Yeah.
Good old Robbie down in Plymouth. So yeah, there is a few of us.
So it's just a case of who's available and away you go, really.
Yeah. I guess it depends on kind of what type of weather we're chasing. I mean, thunderstorm chasing, I'd like there to be at least 3 of us.
Mm.
So I tend to kind of be in the front seat, and then obviously Rob driving. And then it's always good to have Robbie in the back, because essentially he can be observing what's happening in the sky, but also have a second opinion look on the radars as we're chasing. Because I can't, though I'm looking at the radar, I'm also trying to plot and navigate our next place for Rob, because Rob obviously can't look at the maps because he's too busy driving to that area that we need to be in. So I'm always trying to stay 2 steps ahead, and I can't always watch the radar when I'm trying to navigate a road, trying to work out where the storm's going, how fast the storm's going, where do we need to be in terms of that storm. So it's always good to have him in the back.
Yeah. Because obviously it's called Weather Chase, but actually you try and get in front of the storm, don't you?
Mm.
You don't actually, you do chase it, but what I mean is you're trying to get in front of it. So you're not actually chasing the storm, you're trying to get in front of it, which, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you always try and stay ahead of it, because I guess it comes down to, again, what time of day it is, what's actually expected within that storm. For thunderstorms, for example, if it was daytime, you would tend to stay more on top of it, so like in front of it, because that's where you get these really nice cloud structures to photograph. And it tend to be on that. But then once you've got those cloud structures, you're like, right, well, what's next then? And you kind of look on the radar and be like, right, well, there's actually quite a lot of hail in there. So then you just dive in, try and get a bit of hail call, do a hail call punch, get a lot of hail hitting the windscreen, which was quite fun. And then obviously, if there's any rotation on the back end of it, we'll kind of keep an eye on that. And if there is, then obviously we drop down south and then kind of just track that storm. But if you're trying to get in front of it again at the back, there's no chance, because it's just too far. So yeah, in terms of lightning, we don't really tend to do much lightning during the day, because chance of seeing it is quite slim. It's quite hard. But then nighttime, obviously it would be lightning that we'd concentrate on. Yeah, it depends on what we're all, the time of day and what we fancy, really.
Yeah. So what equipment do you use then when you go out chasing? What's your stuff that helps you chase? And
so we've got a Davis Vantage Pro 2, which is issued by one of our partners at Pro Data Weather, and that kind of sits on top of Stormforce 2, and then that basically gives us a lot of data, so wind directions, wind speeds, humidity, temperatures, rainfall accumulations, pressure. There's loads of things that it can do. So we kind of tend to use that dew point temperatures as well, which is quite important in storms. So we tend to kind of use that, look at what our position is and what the readings are doing, and then that will kind of give us a bit of an idea based on, are we okay in the right spot or so on. But it's always good to collect data anyway, especially if we're heading into the back end of the storm, and you kind of get that outflow where you get quite a lot of wind coming through, straight line winds coming through. So at least we'll be able to record some sort of wind speeds as well. what else we got on there? So the tools that we use, we got the radar, which is issued by netweather.tv. So we tend to use that, and that picks up all of the radar that we need, satellite imagery, and lightning detection. And then, yeah, we use Sat24 sometimes for satellite. So satellite's quite important just before storms start initiating, because you can kind of see like them bubbling up. And then when we start to see those little bubbles, we kind of know that that's quite a decent sign for convection. So then if we need to adjust our position ever so slightly just before they actually do start initiating, at least we've got that time to just reposition if needs be, which we haven't done yet, which is great, which means we're doing something right. What else is there? I think that's pretty much it, really.
But you're obviously recording with cameras and stuff, trying to get your images and.
Yeah. I mean, obviously cameras and so forth. Got too many of them. GoPro 360 Maxes.
All right.
We've got one of them now. Yeah, 360 Max. And then obviously we've got you when you come out with us.
Yeah, but I'm not really catching the storms, am I? What I'm trying to catch is really in the background what you guys are doing and how you're reacting and you not being happy and things like that.
Hey, you're making out that I'm never happy.
No, I'm only joking. You're always happy.
They've started calling me Scrappy Doo. I don't know why.
Scrappy Doo. Yeah, that's probably about right. You're a bit hyper.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you next out chasing then?
Oh, well, we're entering that cold period now, aren't we? So nothing's firmed up just yet, but we have started preparing for potential snow hunting this Wednesday and Thursday. That would be more localized, so Dartmoor we probably may see a bit of snow up there. Not expecting anything too dramatic. It's not going to be 6 foot of snow, but certainly a good, maybe a few centimeters worth. So yeah, we're just Rob's just adjusting certain elements of the setup on Stormforce 2. So we kind of just look at like the tires, might adjust the tire pressures and make sure everything engine wise is all fine, that we haven't got any issues. We did have a slight issue on Friday when we went up. So we had a bit of issues with our power at the back. One of our inverters just decided it didn't want to work properly. So Starlink was basically knocked out. We couldn't use Starlink, which for us is quite important, especially when we want to do live streaming and obviously collecting data and looking at what the data is. So we're trying to work that out today and tomorrow, trying to get that all sorted, ready for Wednesday. But yeah, anytime Wednesday, Thursday time, we could potentially be out. Other areas are going to get snow and ice warnings, no doubt. It's just trying to pinpoint exactly where they are. Are you going to come out? Want to come out and do a bit of snow hunting? Have a snowball fight?
Snowball fight, yeah. Snow angel.
Yeah, well, yeah, you are a bit of an angel, aren't you?
Yeah. Watch out for the yellow snow, though.
Oh, boring.
It's I suppose though when you come to doing your chasing or going out doing any of the weather things, like so you're reliant on how things are going to progress and checking a few days before. How long before can you normally find whether you might go out on a chase, whether it be snow, rain, or whatever?
It varies. I mean, for example, this cold period that we've had our eyes on it over the last 10 days. But that far in advance is really, really hard to pinpoint exactly how confident it's going to be. So you kind of just keep with the trend. You kind of keep an eye on it. But yeah, 10 to 4, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, we picked up on it. Robbie picked up on it. And we're like, oh, this is interesting. And then, yeah, it's just a case of day by day, keeping an eye on it. And then I'd say when you get to like day 5 to 7, that's when you can start being like, right, okay, so confidence is consistent, in terms of what the models are outputting. There's some discrepancies between various models, but that's understandable. They're all not going to paint the same picture, are they? But yeah, and then we'll kind of start analysing that, working out kind of, is it worth us, going out hunting if it's local, if it's further afield, what's our criteria for chasing? Does it meet our criteria? If it doesn't, that's fine. We can still report on it from here. We'll issue our watches. So, like, obviously, Wednesday and Thursday, we've issued our snow watch, with the potential of us activating chase mode for snow hunting. But yeah, it depends. So, summertime's a little bit different, really. I'd say 5 days. And then, yeah, because really you're kind of looking at the plumes that are coming up from Europe rather than the Arctic blast coming down from the north. So, but then again, it kind of interferes with a low. Does it interfere with a low? What's the temperatures doing around? Is how much capers around? What's the environment doing in terms of the instability, and is everything there ready to fall for thunderstorms? So it's kind of completely different.
Okay. Do you have you got like an ultimate goal with what you're doing? Is it a case you just want to build up and raise the awareness? Would it be nice to sort of be self-sustainable in terms of sponsorship and all that sort of thing? What's a big plan? Have you got a big plan or big picture?
I just want to keep chasing.
Right.
That is it. Just want to keep chasing. I mean, awareness has a major part in what we do. The infrastructure in the UK is not great. Let's be honest. Obviously, we can see that based on the impacts that that parts of the UK are having. But yeah, I mean, the infrastructure isn't going to change, is it? Let's be honest. But severe weather is always going to get worse. That's fact. The data proves that. We can see that there's an increase in a lot more rainfall and so forth. The windstorms, for example, look how many red warnings we've had over the last kind of couple of years as well, and they've been quite damaging. So yeah, I guess for us it's about reporting on the infrastructure, trying to keep people safe, keep people aware that we are the UK. You cannot compare the UK to the likes of like America where you get tornadoes, but severe weather is actually getting worse.
Mm.
Us, Brits do need to adjust with the weather as well, I feel, and I don't think people really appreciate and respect such things like the Met Office issuing warnings every time they do. It almost seems like the public somewhat like to joke around it and laugh at it, and it's just like, well, actually, no, they're trying to keep you safe. And then it isn't until something happens they start reacting, but by that time it's too late.
Yeah.
So there is a massive, and I think that's where kind of we're like trying to not take over the Met Office, because we respect the Met Office so much, and we've got such a good working and kind of relationship with them as well. I've built up a load of good friends from them as well, and I feel like we are well respected within the Met Office as well. But there does need to be awareness that people do need to start listening to the Met Office, because they don't make this stuff up. You need to stop reading what the mainstream media are publishing, because they are literally going crazy and overhyping stuff, and it drives me insane, because it does have a big impact. Because for example, the Daily Express are like, you're going to get 500 snow war chaos, snow bombs going to hit the whole of the UK, and everyone sees that, and then like the Met Office puts out a warning, but yet there's certain areas within that warning that the expressive promise that it's going to get, but yeah, it hasn't happened. Then it comes back on the Met Office, and it's just like, well, like why? Like, oh, the Met Office are lying. Well, they're not actually. You've been reading an overhyped publication from mainstream media, which is just pathetic.
Well, yeah. There's obviously we know about mainstream media at the moment. There's a lot of unhappiness about that in very various sectors, isn't there? Should we just leave it at that?
Yeah, let's not get into that.
No, what I mean is, okay, so it's not cheap it's not obviously cheap to storm chase. You've got to put fuel in, equipment costs stuff, it's time, blah blah blah, and all the
Yeah.
rest of it. People have got to pay their bills and things like that. Would it be nice if it was sustainable in terms of that you were able to provide that service, if you like, but also be able to sort of have it as a living, I suppose, and be able to do that as a job?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like businesses don't like to put their hands in their pockets much when it comes to like marketing and trying something new. And I do get it. Like we are new. You won't see. We are very niche and unique. So from a business and from a commercial point of view, if you're not really in the weather industry, is it worth taking that gamble? But then with the social media presence that we got, looking at like a targeted area or so forth. I mean, in terms of advertising, we could well do that. Like we are behind closed doors, been having some conversations with other, businesses and so forth, in kind of, collaborating, from like a financial point of view. Oh, excuse me, whereby, it kind of helps with the kitty and build that kitty so we can, continue chasing because fuel is expensive, keeping the vehicles maintained, camera equipment's always changing and always getting upgraded and so on. So, we'll never say no to getting more stuff to be able to capture better things, live streaming, for example, as well. But it would be nice, but it's not easy. I won't lie. And I think that's why we need to ensure we stay active and keep building our presence and keep doing what we're doing to the best that we possibly can, because then we can kind of back it up by the evidence, for businesses who, want to kind of take a leap into looking at, I don't know, sponsoring some of our chasers, for example. But if I'm honest with you, personally, I need to look into it a little bit more, and I don't think I have done. There is a market there to be had and something that we can offer us a service and so forth. But there's been quite a few complications over the last few months, in terms of our operational status, and we have hit a few bumps. Let's just say that. So I've had to kind of prioritize certain elements of what we're doing. What can we do? What can't we do? Like the merchandise is hoping to release all that, but it was like, well, hang on a minute. We just need to chill back on that now for the minute because there's other things that need prioritizing. Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to do that, but yeah, slowly but surely. There's big things happening next year. Big things happening next year. Maybe that is where it's going to change. I've been thrown a lifeline. I'm going to take that lifeline, and what we are going to do is hopefully going to be absolutely insane. But I can't say too much to you on camera.
No, that's fine.
Off camera, I'll be able to.
Well, we can obviously when you can talk about that, we can talk about that because we're gonna. We were speaking before. Obviously, we came on the podcast that we were going to perhaps have some regular ones of these so we can do updates, see how things are progressing, so on and so forth. Get some of the other members on and make a bit of a feature of this. So that'll come in the future. But at the end of the day, like you say, you start this from a passion thing, your interest and all the rest of it. So if things grow sort of organically, then that's as it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and it has all grown organically, and I think that's where I don't want to change the foundation or anything from the start because it's grown, organically. I don't want to have to change that, and then it puts pressure on us, and it's like we've now got to do that, if that makes sense. It's really hard, but I know from because we are growing so quick on our social media and so forth, we do need to adjust our presence differently. Whereas maybe a few months ago, we could have kind of said a few things on our social media pages, which I don't think we get away with now, if that makes sense. So, we do need to be a little bit more professional, but also we want to be ourselves. And that is what I think is really, really important, is that we are ourselves and this is who we are. This is what we're about. It's all natural, as you know, from coming out filming and doing things. It's not all staged. We don't want to stage things. We don't want to do any of that crap. We are who we are, and this is what we're about, and this is our personalities. Simple as that.
Yeah. Okay, so if people want to find out more about you, where can they follow you and all the rest of it?
Everywhere. YouTube. Well, not necessarily. YouTube's a bit of a weird one because we are going to be starting to do live streams on there, but in terms of other additional content, we're kind of holding back on that for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We do have a website being built currently as well.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening on that. But yeah, literally anywhere and everywhere. Facebook's our biggest audience. But yeah, come along and follow us and enjoy the ride with us.
Okay, fantastic. Well, it's always good to speak to you, Sam. It's the first time I've spoke to you for more than 30 minutes and you've never sworn. So well done on that. Not that it's a problem if you had a sworn. He's laughing.
Do you know how hard it has been? Honestly,
But it's not a
it's
problem.
been so hard.
You could swear. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
I've actually got my screen here. Do not swear. 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 This is live. This is live. This is live. Do not swear. So yeah, I've been so good.
I was impressed. As you said, yeah, but yeah, I was impressed. Anyway, thanks for coming on, mate.
Done it.
Make sure you follow the guy. So it's UK Weather Chase. And that was Sam we were speaking to. Hopefully, you like the podcast, guys. We will meet up with Sam again in future weeks, months, whatever. So, yeah, give him a follow. But thanks for watching. Bye for now.